And we're back. Tucker and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I just got a pair of Run the Jewels Nikes SBs coming in the mail.
You were doing your dance there. You haven't done your dance in a while. I like that.
Do you?
Yeah, we actually have your dance song. We could... Remember? Yeah. That's right.
Hardy knows this one. This is the new dance show.
That's how you get people all pumped up in the morning. High energy. Freddie T with the moves.
So new dance show was on public access. You guys had one, I'm sure, in Boston too. Like a channel where like they tried to do like almost an American Bandstand, but it was hip hop stuff. And they would form a line, and they do a thing on it in the Detroiters. They satirize it, and all the women would come through, and they would turn side to side, and then they would shake. Like, so they would take their fists and put them at breast level and then shake violently to jiggle everything.
Yeah.
And that's what got people excited. And then I'm sure you had a show like this in Boston.
There was one in Albuquerque.
I'm trying to remember. 12.
Dance, Dance, Dance. It's a teen thing. Do you remember that, Hardy? Like,
no.
It was on Friday nights. It was on public access.
Well, there was like, they do it on the Detroiters, and there's the brother and sister, the one who's married to Tim Robinson on the show and his best friend on the show are on the new dance show. So they do this. But the ads during the new dance show were like, hey, welcome to Leroy's House of Hats. It's hats, hats, hats. At the corner of 7 Mile and DeQuinder. Hats. And then it was just like hats and Stacey Adams shoes.
Yeah.
Maury shoes. If it Maury, it ain't Gator. They would do all that. All right. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, guys. I was thinking, should Mike and the Mad Dog sue the NFL for the schedule release show? Because they created it, and they should do it. It's the greatest, I think, thing in the history of sports talk radio. Mike and the Mad Dog going through every single NFL game, and then
taking their time.
Commenting on who's going to win or not.
Just taking their time.
4 hours in the history of sports.
Yes.
And also, I'll be this Friday and Saturday off Cabot in Beverly, Massachusetts.
You're doing Beverly. Are you headlining in Beverly?
Big things.
Okay.
Yeah, North Shore, kid.
All right. Good luck, my friend. We're rooting for you.
Come on, guy.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike and the Mad Dog would take their time with things.
They had nothing but
Mad Dog's very
5 hours a day.
Mad Dog did like an hour on his producer getting him a hotel room and the room not having a TV. And the producer was not happy with that. And
I'm happy that you got me in the hotel. I appreciate it, but you get in there and you want to watch a little boob tube.
He said that you're and the producer's like, well, I don't know. You wanted a 5-star hotel. He was doing a Rollins event last night. He was doing something for Rollins, something that Rollins does not ask me to do, but he's much more popular than I am. But and that they wasn't a TV. And then the kid's like, you wanted a 5-star hotel, Mike. I mean, you wanted it on short notice in a specific neighborhood. I don't know what the hell you want from me. And he's like, well, I want to watch the San Antonio game. It's like, oh, please. You wanted to watch the San Antonio game.
Well, that is in direct opposition to your Devil Wears Prada stance, where that seems like actually a reasonable request.
Well, you gave me, I don't know, a decade of crap for asking Bird to call and wake me up on his way into work in the morning. I could only imagine if I asked Adam to book me a hotel non-related to the show. And then if I just asked him to do it or then complained about the hotel that he put me in, I mean, I was mocked for something that's Drew and Mike, producer, the overnight guy, called them every morning to make sure they were
you're
up.
no Drew and you're no Mike, but I did back off my...
I would say my career is fairly similar to theirs, but okay, go ahead.
I have backed off my Bird calling you stance since having to get up at this hour. Yeah. I now understand.
The empathy has arrived.
Because all the a-hole things I've done, and there's been millions.
They are legion.
Yeah, I admit it. I mean, I'm doing a show. I'm trying to be funny. But beyond that, just being a dick. I was horrible to Nick when he interned for us. I know it. And I've made many amends. And I treat Nick as best as I can now.
No, Nick. Nick.
Well, listen, that doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve a little yelling when it's in that spot. But
He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
But Nick will tell you when it's all over. If I feel the need, I will apologize.
Has Nick signed up for that that fart monitor yet? Did they get back to you?
He did sign up. Actually, he was in the process of registering the other day, and he was answering questions, and I said, "Stop! This is something we could do on the air." And he goes, "No, there's only like 3 questions." And then they said that they're no longer taking submissions for the study. So sadly, Nick.
They finally found a fart monitor that was small enough to fit on underwear. That had been the thing that had been holding it back all these years. Well, finally, technology is caught up to farts.
Nick could have helped them out years ago when the monitors were larger because I don't know what he wears. It's got to be some kind of do you just wear gym shorts for underwear, Nick, with that rump of yours? Do they make underwear that fits? That ample bottom of yours?
Nick, the producer, he's juicy.
Yeah, LBF said she wanted to pluck something, but it sounded different. All right, so... Remember at 6 o'clock when I talked about Dan? He came out to my son's game yesterday. Yeah. He filled in for Hardy yesterday. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that I asked for first to fill in. Mm-hmm. I've referred to Dan as a friend. We do text often. We text like multiple times a week. We'll text each other.
Actual friends.
But I'm saying this for a point, and I do like that. But like equals.
It's pretty rare
for me, and so. Dan was here, and Dan throughout the season is checked up on Milo, my son, who pitches. He's like, how's Milo doing? How's Milo doing? He came out to a game last year. I'll never forget it because it was in May and it snowed. So he lives in Andover. My son's game was in Groton. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get there. Dan got to the game before I did. We talked about this at the 6 o'clock hour. Is there anything I said, and you can be completely honest, but I don't want you to be sarcastic. Was there or joke about it? I do want an honest answer. Was there anything I said about Dan that in any way was negative about him in that first segment?
No, in fact, it was kind of endearing, and I don't know where you're going with this, but if it's something that Dan has said.
No,
okay.
It's because he's in this walking club. So just no. Okay, that's good. Is there something else you want to add?
No. Because like one time, the first time I told that story about the golf course, Dan got, I thought, actually angry with me for kind of like exposing him for having like actual human feelings.
See, that's the only thing that could be construed as negative, that Dan pops off and is a normal human being.
Yeah,
but I said that was years ago when his daughter was in high school. We were at the ALS game.
The answer is no. You didn't say anything negative that would put Dan in a bad light.
Well, so this is what his yentas at the walking club that he's in did.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So he had texted me at 6:48, and he said, "Morning, Fred. Had a great time yesterday. Milo did an awesome job nailing down the save. Let me know how he does in his next start." I said, "Thanks for coming out, Dan. I'll keep you in the loop." Then, like an hour later,
like friends.
Then an hour later, he texts. Just got back from a walk with the neighborhood fellas. Sorry if I wasn't myself at the game yesterday. Was so happy for you and Milo. Was cool to watch. He's well on his way. If I was too hyper, I apologize. So the yentas in this walking club are listening to the show, and then they're telling Dan that I was crapping on him, which I was very moved. If you want me to be like... super annoying about it. I was very moved that Dan came out to the game. It was great. The coach of Milo's team was happy that there was a big shot from TV there. Mm-hmm. People were excited to see him. My kids, Milo got a kick out of it. Zoe likes Dan. I thought it was a tremendous gesture on his part to drive all that way to go see my son play baseball. I appreciated it was there. But then he wrote, in this whole time since the break and until now, he spent crafting the next text.
Okay.
Because I said to him, Jesus, Dan, you were great. I just said that you were different. Like, he doesn't talk about Disney and stuff. I thought you were great with Zoe and Margraff's mom, the coach's mom. Was there.
Yeah.
Zoe thought you were funny and nice, and he said, all good. And I said, why? Did they say I was making fun of you? Because I absolutely was not. I really appreciate you coming out yesterday. And he said they were laughing at you being shocked that I could golf because I was unathletic, which I agree with. That's not what was going on, Dan. They said I was making fun of you, and I don't appreciate that because I make fun of them all the time. But when I'm not making fun of them, I don't need this Yenta walking club going around spreading nonsense.
I maintain that if you have friends coming to you to tell you what is being said about you and something you would not ordinarily hear, those aren't real friends.
No, they are not real friends. That's not how real friends
I'm
are.
not saying that. I'm just saying
I am.
that.
And I'm agreeing because you took the words right out of my mouth.
You should have heard what they were saying about you yesterday. I don't know, and I'm happier not knowing.
Well,
Why are
we
you
didn't
trying to
say-
make me unhappy?
We didn't say anything about you.
Right.
yesterday. That's nonsense too. We did make fun. We really tore into you because you weren't here. I have a bunch of stuff I wouldn't say to your face. I'm a real coward. When you're here, I get
Oh no, I was saying that as an example.
Okay, yeah. I was like, what the hell is going on?
No.
Yeah, but I don't like that because I don't like that. Really, I don't like it because I do appreciate Dan coming out so much, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think I came on the air. I mean, I said he's different, but that's not a negative thing. He's just like more of a regular guy.
This whole thing
He's
is
not
very middle school. The whole thing, you know. I
I appreciate the walking club listening.
I don't know many middle schoolers who are in walking clubs. So
no,
that
but
part
I
of it's
mean
not very
the
middle
whole
school.
thing about you
Well,
should have
certainly
heard
not the athletic kids.
Yeah, you should have heard what he said.
I
about
question
you.
that being a sport. You're not keeping kids up. That's not teaching them much. Like, I know you don't want to play any of these traditional sports, which I understand, and you don't want to be in newspaper or debate or anything.
If you're
Why don't
local,
you just take a lap?
if your local middle school is a walking club, move.
Wait, now I'm thinking it was Hardy. It was you who told the story about the golf outing with Dan in the opening segment, correct? So if there was any sort of complaint, if there was any sort of misconstruing of comments, is what I'm saying, it wouldn't be directed at Fred. It would be directed at Hardy.
It would still be directed at Fred because I said Dan was playing really well, and then Fred went off on for 40 minutes. How could Dan be a good golfer?
No, but
he's such a waste.
But
That's
the point
what he's
I'm
upset
making
about,
Is,
right.
is during your story you talked about, was it Marcy going up to him and him like saying, F Hardy, and like you dropping F bombs and stuff like that. That would be what, if I'm a walking club member trying to stir stuff up, what I would point out.
But can we now? Everyone can at least understand how listeners, when they're passively listening, construe
Yes.
anything I'm involved with, which is Hardy can tell a funny story that's kind of ragging on someone, and then it immediately becomes Fred was being a dick.
Yeah.
It's been that way my whole career. To some people's great joy. Not the Hardys. Hardy's a real man. He can take it. He can take the lumps himself. All right, Dan, I did not badmouth you. You see how this
You
is
guys are
upsetting
still
to me.
friends. You guys are still friends. Don't worry.
Well, I very few. I keep ostracizing people. They are being ostracized. I don't like it. All right, look. All right, let's just play the.
We're on the
one.
subject of baseball.
Yeah.
We're on the.
that's-
Yeah, we're talking about
that's
Dan
good.
Roche, who's basically just talking about
Sure.
baseball. All right, Adam, this was just sent to us. We did not solicit for it.
No, this was sent to Hardy, actually. Hardy, you received this a few weeks ago when the Red Sox were really, really playing poorly, and people were calling for the team to be sold. And apparently this listener was motivated to put people's feelings to song. And that's what we'd like to share here.
All right, and this is not a radio professional writing a song.
No, we don't need to get into that, I don't think.
No. Because I've been on you guys to please write a song.
As long as we know it's coming, that's all
Well,
that matters.
now that you mention it,
As long as we know it's going to happen, that's what we care about.
Please,
grab my
crack-
acoustic.
Could you? Oh,
Oh, God.
You didn't get it right away.
All right.
getting PTSD.
Okay.
Nicholas, I'm sorry he mentioned.
It's okay.
that.
We got 6 minutes left in this segment. I got time.
You got time for half of it. All right. Anyway, this was a listener. We didn't ask for this, but it came anyway. Here you go. I haven't heard it. Well, at least they used a good song.
Oh, no.
It's funny. My dad and I were at a Red Sox game the other day, like a couple Sundays ago, maybe 2 Sundays ago, and they played this, and he just looked at me, and I looked at him,
Yeah.
and we mind melded. We're not standing up.
Yeah.
We're not standing up. I told you at the minor league game they played like 7 national anthems. They played the national anthem, they played God Bless America, and they played something else. And by the third one, I'm like, this is enough. And I wanted to get a soda. And they were like, what are you doing? Like, legitimately, like, what are you doing? Like, they're playing whatever, Proud to Be an American or whatever. And I'm like, no. You get 1. This is the third. Soda. We're not stopping operations 3 times. Like, it's enough. And this was before the whole Iran thing, too. Like, no. This is a time of peace. We're not stopping 3 times. You don't get to take 12 minutes off work because Steve Vai wannabe's playing some song on the field. Come on. 1's enough.
I'm going to get a bottle of soda, and I'll be right back with you.
Thank you, Chili Guy. I wish you were still here.
Where it began is not where it should be. Johnny, you really things up. Not getting an arm, even a position player. Would have thought these chants would come.
He's got such confidence.
Beer, concession stands, ticket prices, all higher than me, higher than you. Please, John Henry.
Huh?
Please, John Henry.
The beer concession prices are higher than me, higher than you.
Too expensive for
how
Joe
is it
average.
Higher than me and higher than you?
Concession stand,
How are prices higher than someone?
ticket prices, higher than me, higher than you.
It's better than some parodies I've heard recently.
Please, John Henry, sell the tea.
All right, I can't do it anymore.
Thank you.
Just as a rule, if you can't sing, you shouldn't be making parody
Well, no,
songs.
you can't. No, it's sometimes funny if you can't sing. AKA the song that won our whole contest,
Yeah,
the MASH
true, yeah.
theme. No, I know. If you can't hear what you're saying, that's a problem. And also, when one of your first of all, that went on for another 2.5 minutes. And second of all, if one of your lines is beer prices are higher than me, higher than you, you couldn't think of anything else to compare it to. It's a real problem.
Ticket prices.
All right. Well, if I can get over this walking club malfeasance.
You got to let it go.
I know. Let go. Let go.
Where do they walk?
Serenity now.
Do they walk around the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Sure.
They just pick up all the hypodermic needles laying around in Andover. They look for porn in the woods. That's really what they do.
Then you get those New Balance trail walkers.
Yeah. They found a 1987 edition of Nugget, and then they all ran home crying. The best is when I told the story about finding... The best is when I told the story about finding Nugget magazine, which was disgusting. I actually ran inside and asked my mom about it because I was so upset that Jim Murray heard it, and he was like, the same thing happened to me. I found a Nugget magazine, and I flipped out. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen. They had ads for amputees and stuff. It's published in the United States.
That wasn't a Larry Flint
No.
publication.
Come on.
Class act like that, no.
Oil them up more. Oil them up. Throw some oil on them.
Move the flour. You're blocking it.
Flowers? This is for the working man. Guccione's making science rags. Well, I'm out here making stuff for guys in prison. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Tom Caron, I'm sorry, Tom, that you had such a difficult song skewering the Red Sox before we put you on, but nonetheless, the show must go on. We will have that for you in just a moment.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Harding on the Sports Hub.
Tom Caron joins us at this time on every Thursday. Hi, Tom.
Good morning. How we doing?
We're doing good. And Mike Felger threw a nice, fun thing in our laps. Regardless of its validity, it was interesting to hear about. And he said that he had gotten a text on his phone. He admitted it was not from necessarily an insider source, but it said the Red Sox were looking to do something big to kind of like wow the fan base and look for Mike Trout. It would be Duran and Bayo for Trout. Your thoughts, Tom Caron, as someone who's loosely associated with the organization?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting for fans. It is. And I haven't seen them show any indication of making a move for the fans like that. How many deals have they not gotten done because they don't want to commit to the years and the price tag? And it would be stunning to see them about face for a deal like that. Now,
all right,
I can tell you a million reasons why.
Tom, I'm sorry. We're going to have to get you on the phone. I apologize. But this is the second week. We're having trouble.
Yeah, I don't know.
We get other guys on the we get other guys
on the Zoom,
but we're just going to have to call him right now.
Yeah, we're going to get him on the phone. It was funny. He was fine when we had him queued up, but I do remember last week, same thing.
It's got to be on his end because it doesn't happen with other guys that Zoom in. Was Mark Daniels on the phone or did he Zoom in?
We used Zoom audio for Mark Daniels. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that worked. Yeah. So, all right. We just need to get Tom on the phone.
Nick's going to get him on the phone right now.
Because I know if I was listening and it was cutting out like that, it would drive me insane. Me, I can deal with it because it's like I'm not even paying attention. Right. All right. He's up on the phone. All right. Tom Caron, I'm sorry.
I heard you guys fine, so I'll pick up where I left off. I just, how many deals have they not done because of years, because of salary? And it would be stunning to me that they're going to go against all their plans, everything they have clearly tried to accomplish without those deals, and do that right now. Now, I can tell you a million ways why I love the idea and how it make our pre-games and post-game shows a hell of a lot more exciting. But, man, that would be a stunning admission that everything they have tried to do over the last few years was wrong. And I can't imagine them doing that, but I would love for them to prove me wrong because, last couple of nights, Mike Trout would have made a hell of a lot of difference on that team.
Okay, so
no doubt about it.
Because some people are doubting this trade, and the way I looked at it is, look, you're not very good. You're just not. And yes, your pitching seems to be fine, and you could even stand to lose Bayo, and certainly if you got Trout, then Duran's it's something you don't need anymore. But just in terms of shaking things up and bringing in a star, I've grown to see kind of the appeal to that. If you're running a major organization and you're spending a lot of money and in your fan base, you're getting really just kind of like blah, is it the worst thing in the world to move some redundancies off your roster and bring in a big-time superstar? And you seem to be in the camp of there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. And, so they won the game last night with 2 home runs. It was the third time in 21 home games this season that they've hit more than 1 home run in a game, which is ridiculous at Fenway Park. It's a hitter's ballpark. You have to hit home runs or doubles anyway, and they haven't hit enough of those either. But they're 3-0 when they hit 2 home runs in a game at Fenway Park. And so would Mike Trout help that? Of course he would. And would he be, listen, it'd be an instant jolt to the fan base. Again, it would be a stunning turnaround for them, but it would also... Would it be surprising that Mike Trout would agree to it? Mike Trout has never wanted to leave Anaheim, and he's probably been able to go other places and be the guy there, although Artie Moreno never wants to admit that they're not going anywhere.
But it'd be surprising to me on his end that he's going to waive his no trade protection to come to a place that is an absolute mess right now. There's a lot of reasons it won't happen, but to answer your question, sure. I think dropping Mike Trout into the middle of this would jolt the system, and God, this system needs a jolt.
When is Roman Anthony coming back? He would actually also help jolt the lineup.
Yeah, from the start, they kept downplaying it and saying it was so quick. I don't think they did him any favors by making it sound like he would be back so quickly, because then, you start wondering, well, they said he'd be back quickly. Why isn't he returning? He's not swinging a bat yet, and it's a hand-wrist issue. So I worry that, until you show me he's swinging and that his hand's not swelling up and that he's not having any pain in the swing, I have no idea when he's coming back. So I can't imagine. And I mean, again, has it been short enough that he can just jump right back into the lineup? He's a young guy. I don't know that he needs a rehab, but he's going to need a few days after he starts to swing to take live batting practice and get his timing back, working the trajects machine and all that stuff. So, I mean, I would, if you're asking me to guess, maybe when they get back home a week from tomorrow after the road trip, which would probably be, that's pretty quick, I guess. So, yeah, it's amazing how quickly you miss a young guy like that. They just, because the lack of power that we talked about in the preseason is really biting this team in the backside right now.
Back to Mike Trout for a second. One of the things we were talking about earlier, Tom, is the notion that he would be a great leadership injection for the team. And there's two ways of looking at it. One, that you really don't know enough about him, or you feel like, yeah, he's not known as being a leader, or that he would just lead by example, by the fact that just show these guys, hey, offense is a good thing. I can hit a bunch of home runs here. Do you have an opinion one way or the other as to whether or not he would be a great leadership ad for the team?
Yeah, I think maybe more the latter. I think just being Mike Trout makes you a leader. He's got the resume, he's got the history. You look at these two teams playing the last couple nights, right? They both made managing changes within 4 days of each other. But you look at the veterans on that Phillies roster, and it's not a huge surprise they've gone 11-4 since the change. I mean, you got Schwarber, you got Harper, you got Marsh, who's become one of the better hitters in the game. And, these are veteran guys. You don't have that here. You just don't. You have a lot of young guys, and even the guys who've been here a few years, Duran is struggling, and he's a guy that has developed into a leader in this group, but, it hasn't been an easy run for him. We all know that. There's just, you don't have, so if you drop in someone who's got the resume of Mike Trout, of course, that changes the leadership quotient for the better, because they just don't have enough veterans in that on the position side. They got more of them on the pitching side, but it's different for the position guys, and I think Trout would help that.
It's funny because I just want to get your take on this. It's very Boston to me of people questioning Trout's leadership, because it's like, well, he's just stayed in Anaheim, and he's kind of just been complacent and just sitting in Anaheim. But the counter to that is, well, while he's one of the best players in baseball history, he demands a trade, which makes him a diva. So you're telling me there's no situation that there's nothing he could have done in Anaheim to prove anything other than he's not a good leader, because either scenario makes him not a good leader. I don't know if he is or not, but I don't think there's any evidence that he's a clubhouse cancer.
Yeah, it's such a Boston concept that, unless he's coming here from New York or Chicago, like he doesn't know anything about leadership. He's been a small market, and we think 26 teams are small markets. And so you got to come here to prove it. I don't know. Boston is different, and I know it's not what it used to be, that it's, but the fans are on this team hard. He knows that. He knows what's going on here. Is he the kind of guy who can come into this situation and not let it affect him? I assume, because he's a damn good ball player. But listen, there's a reason this team is really struggling at home. And
I don't care what you tell me. This team presses at Fenway Park right now. It's a young team. It feels the pressure at home. They're 8-13 at home. They've got the fewest runs scored and the lowest slugging percentage of any team in the league at home, which is insane at Fenway Park with the hitter's dimensions. So they the fact that you see it here at Fenway, you see them they run a game less at home than they have on the road. They're feeling it here. And anybody with a history like that would help you relax a little bit at home.
So I heard on Felger and Mazz or on the baseball show that, and I hope I don't get this wrong, that Jared Carrabis had heard that they were, again, looking to make a move, but Tatis in San Diego would be a guy that they were looking at. And then, San Diego's playing really well. Tatis can play infield and he can play outfield.
And he's younger. He's in his late 20s.
Right.
He's younger, yeah.
He loves steroids. There's a lot of things about him. But do you? It's kind of unfair to ask, but why would the Padres want to do that? What's up with that?
That makes less sense to me. And again, I don't want to start another cycle of rumors because I have no knowledge of this, but I had heard Francisco Lindor's name thrown around at one point by Mets people, not by Red Sox people. But, it did, I heard people in Philly that I trust, 2 weeks ago before the move with the manager were talking about maybe they move a big piece. Like there's a lot of good teams that are really struggling. Seattle's another one. And there was a feeling from people I know in the game that there could be some early trades. Instead of the usual a seller and a buyer, it's two teams that are a mess. Maybe they flip a guy, right? Maybe, we need pitching, you need a hitter. Let's try to work something out to spark both our teams. And all of the Padres a little less in that group, but these other teams, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a deal because the Red Sox, nothing has changed since the offseason where Duran and Bayo are both, those two guys with a change of venue would be, I think, pretty enticing for a lot of teams. And they're both, Duran is expendable when Anthony comes back because you still have the extra outfielder situation with these young guys with what we've seen from Early and Tolley and even Jake Bennett. You could deal a pitcher. So, you could get a lot. You could have gotten a lot this offseason if you would have dealt Jarren Duran and Brian Bayo in a deal. And that hasn't changed. So I think, all of this goes back to the Red Sox with those two guys and their struggles. They could do something exciting if you could get a dance partner this early in the season.
Yeah, that would be certainly from a fan standpoint, and as I'm not a huge fan of the Red Sox, but as someone who loves going to the games, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you brought in a big name. Certainly since you just seem to be stuck. It's something. All this planning and everything, sometimes you just got to shake things up. I've seen enough.
You mentioned earlier, the pitching and defense has been legit. It's the best defensive team they've had in a long, long time. And we've seen the pitching of the last few nights. You lost a game 2-1 and you won a game 3-1. Mm-hmm. That's really good pitching. With Slayton back last night, you saw that bullpen slots out right up there with the best of them. Your 7, 8, 9 are as good as anybody in the American League right now.
Right.
You got to get it there with the lead, and you haven't been able to do that. So if you can make that move and bring in a bat and jolt the system, because I'll tell you what, the last couple of days the environment at Fenway has been okay. There's a lot of Phillies fans, and it's just these two teams getting it. But over the weekend, you heard the boos. Sunday when they were losing to Tampa, you heard the boos, and they were pretty loud. And it's early in the season for the fans to be turning on it. So there's no doubt they hear that upstairs. And if you could make some sort of impact move early, like way before the trade deadline, the next few weeks, that at least would show that you're not going down without a fight, and they need to show that.
All right. Well, that's great. Tom Caron, great stuff. I like what you're saying. I think it's it shows a good finger on the pulse of what the fans are thinking and what this team, franchise could really stand to do. And I like the way you're thinking. Tom Caron, it makes me feel better about what I'm thinking because a lot of people said I was dumb. Tom Caron, appreciate it.
We'll be dumb together, Fred.
At least you have some bona fides. I just walk around being dumb all the time. Tom Caron, watch him on the NESN broadcast. He's the best. Tom, thanks again. We always appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. Interesting. I'm telling you, you didn't like it, John, but I'm telling you, just do something. Life's too short. I'm telling you, just do something.
They need to do something. Right. Tom's right. I mean, this ownership has shied away from spending a lot of money, especially that far into the future.
Yeah, but I know. But they're in terms of the league, they're up there. And
I can kind of see Tatis because he's 27 or 28.
I don't see what the Padres would do.
But but that's where I was going. San Diego would never do that.
No, I'm not saying Carabas didn't hear it or that he's wrong. Carabas knows all those guys. He knows everybody. But that's not the point I'm making. The point is that Lindor makes sense with the Mets if they were going to try to just shake things up, not give up on the season, but trade a piece to kind of like change things up.
Just tough to convince yourself as a Padres front office or even a fan like how that's going to help you.
Well,
how's that going to make you better?
I wouldn't touch anything if I was the Padres.
Right.
I'd be like this. Yeah. We're winning. We're ahead of the Dodgers right now. Let's not do anything.
You want a nice Mets rumor? I was reading last week.
Very quickly,
real quick. They may be interested in Trevor Story.
Oh, good. All right, that's good. Well, okay. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And Hardy, there was an announcement for an activity the listeners can get involved with. What was that announcement?
It is for the 15th annual Who's Your Caddy Golf Classic. They will go on sale Wednesday, May 20th, 10 a.m. You can purchase your foursome through 985thesportshub.com/golf. There will be the information there for you right now. All the proceeds benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts. Great partner this year. They're going to be providing a lot for the tournament, and we've got great auction prizes this year. We've got great silent auction items, and when you purchase your foursome, that includes the 18 holes, the cart, the gift bag, the post-round lunch. It's all at Brook Meadow Country Club in Canton. Once again, great hosts out there. Monday, June 8th, 8:30 shotgun start, Zoe and Beetle broadcasting live. And this year, in order to raise additional funds for Special Olympics, we need a fourth. We need a fourth, and the afternoon show needs a fourth. So you will be able to bid on taking the spot in our foursome comprised of me, Fred, and John Wallach. You'll be our fourth. I would welcome the opportunity to ride and to be partnered up with that person. You and John can have your own little cart.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, Johnny and I. Johnny and our cart buddies. I will ask you this. If you are playing in this thing and you could play, I'd even take a phone call or two, 617-779-0985.
Yeah.
I don't want to make a bit out of it, but it just occurred to me. Would you rather be in the cart with Hardy, John and I, or Felger, Mazz, and Jim?
Ooh.
Because Felger and I are both a-holes.
Yeah.
And both not the most social people, good in social situations. So you would have to make the decision of who is more social, Felger or I. Mazz and John kind of see. We got the secret weapon, which is Hardy, because Hardy gets along with everyone, unless he's pissed.
He'll talk your ear off. He'll talk to you till you don't want him to talk to you anymore.
He wants to. I'll tell you. I saw this guy when I was sitting in traffic yesterday. It was an old man, and he had a guy working in his garage. And oh boy, was he hovering around him. He wasn't letting that guy get a foot away from him. He was just leering at him. And like you could tell he was pointing at stuff and being a total pain in the ass. He was probably 90 years old, just ordering this guy around. And I thought
I was just thinking about my my habit of doing that the other day when I went through the last of my glass cleaner that I have for my car windows, which was given to me by the I think it was the Safe Light Auto guy. He came out to replace my daughter's windshield.
Of course,
I was hanging around him for so long and asking him about the stuff he was using that he gave me a can of his glass cleaner just so I would go away.
Well, that's kind of a win.
You take that, put that in your garage, and to keep it up there, you got to keep it, put it in a cool, dry place.
As a matter of fact,
right away.
take it to your garage right now.
Yeah, that's what
while I finish.
Just to get me away from the car.
So Mazz in John, Mazz is a really nice guy too, and makes a lot of friends. So that's their Hardy,
See, but Big Jim will bring some party favors.
Yeah, Jim,
that's very true.
He'll have the amyl nitrate. He'll keep it fun.
Yes, Jim still parties, so you got that. So yeah, there's a lot of plus and minuses.
I used to bring the beer, but no longer. Don't bring the beer.
I would
anymore.
have Wallach at the bottom of my list of people I would want to ride.
See, that's not nice. Explain yourself.
Because you're going to wall dick him.
That's not true.
It
not
is.
at this event. Not if they pay a lot of money.
Wall dick, well, yeah.
They pay a lot of money to be there. I won't do it.
Dan, but the thing is, I can't be performing for 4 hours. It's a long round.
Sure.
Like, I can,
4?
Yeah, I can't be funny.
It's really not bad. That thing moved right along last
It did,
year.
but it's
no,
not
last
4.
year it wasn't bad.
It's
it
not
wasn't
4.
bad. Dan, go ahead.
See, as a listener of this show, I like your guys' sense of humor and everything. I can't stand the afternoon guys, but if you ask the same question at the afternoon show, that crowd maybe would rather ride with them, but that would be a punishment to me to sit with those 3 guys. Oh, God.
Let me
But
tell you
Mazz
something.
isn't like that in real life.
No, Mazz would be, he'd be my top choice as someone to ride with. In fact, I'm playing in a 3-day tournament with Mazz this summer.
Oh,
Jesus Christ,
nice.
you with the golf and the friends.
Good Lord.
It's so annoying. Jerry, go ahead.
Freddie.
Yes.
I mean, it's hands down. Felger's got to be the worst guy to ride with. I mean, I'm a single-digit handicap, and I cannot imagine 4.5 hours of him just, bitching and moaning about the lie, the sand, the sun. Oh, I forgot my SPF. Are you serious?
Yeah.
We would have a lot of laughs. I don't drink. I drive you guys around all through the evening in Boston afterwards.
Well,
I've ridden with Felger. It was one of the more enjoyable times I've had on a golf course. He's a different guy.
Yeah. I mean, no one's the same off the. I mean, everyone's a heightened. I mean, you're performing on air.
Yeah.
I mean, you are. I mean, you're being a version of yourself, but it's certainly a much heightened version of yourself. Like, when you're talking to someone in real life, you're not nearly as caustic as you normally be. Felger is, see, the problem with Felger is even like with me dealing with Felger talks about how he doesn't want to be bothered and how he doesn't want people around him so much that, like, if I saw him out, I would be me. I would be like, kind of like, I don't want to bug him because I don't know if he's just putting on an act with that, but there has to be a tinge of realness to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if like Felger and Mazz were at Pucks and Paddles last year, and I told John this, I'm like, I think the nicest thing I can do is just leave him alone because I think I'd just be annoying him if I went up and said hello. Like the danger of annoying him was greater than the danger of offending him.
It's true.
And I thought, and I really, because I talked to John, because I do want people to like me in real life. Like I would like them to like go, oh, that's a good guy. And so I went to John. I go, I think maybe the best thing I can do is not even say hello to Felger because I'd just be bothering him because he's doing his show.
And I agreed with you. I thought that was a smart thing to do.
Now, Jim I like, and Matt, and I like Felger too. But I hung out with Felger when the station first started, and I think the mistake I made is I talked about it on the air. And I do not think that he liked
didn't
that.
you guys go? Didn't you go out to dinner with him once?
I think I went out to dinner. I went
Yeah.
to. He invited me out with like him and his wife, but I never went. And then him and I went to like a game,
Right.
but then he didn't want to hang out with me anymore. And I know he didn't want to hang out with anymore because he told people that he didn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
That was a long time ago.
But
though.
Mazz,
Oh God, please.
Mazz and Felger too. They strike the right balance in these things of okay, we're going to care about this for the 10 seconds before the shot, and we're not going to be endlessly talking about our strategy for doing this stuff. No, it's and they can both play.
Well, you're not winning with either foursome
No,
because there's
no.
always a foursome that's like 700 under par.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You're like, how'd you get negative? You shot a -2.
It's
like
impressive.
The ball went in without you touching it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
3 eagles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
3 eagles. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.